This call is being recorded.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How's everyone doing?
Great. Great.
That's good. Is everyone present with their Holy Qurans and their other Islamic books?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. I'd like to open this meeting in the name of Master Farad Muhammad, who appeared and is in person, who is alive in person. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay. It's good to hear your voices once again, as we missed Sunday school last week because y'all had an outing or something to do, and so it's great to be talking with you again. Has everyone been saying, their prayer every day before they go to sleep?
Yes, sir.
Have you been saying your prayers, Amaria?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Come on, let me hear you say your prayer.
Surely I have turned myself being upright to him who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the world. No associates have he, and this am I commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been unjust to myself, and I confess my fault. So grant me protection against all my faults. For none grants protection against faults but thee, and guide me to the best of the morals. For none guides to the best of the morals but thee, and turns away the evil morals but thee.
Very good. Let's see. Rafiq, let me hear you say your prayer.
Yes, sir. Surely I have turned myself, being upright to him who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of a polytheist. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. I'm sorry, Kamal's messing me up. What am I doing? Well, stop, please. Alright, I'm going to restart.
Okay.
Surely I have turned myself, being upright to him who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of a polytheist. Surely my prayer, come on, tell me what I'm doing. What are you doing? He's laughing. I'm not laughing. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice.
Excuse me. Who was laughing?
Come on.
Something funny, come on?
That's something funny.
No, I was not laughing.
You were making a sound that sounded like you were laughing.
Look, listen. Hey, be quiet. Listen, when someone is reciting a prayer, Allah's prayers, be quiet and don't be smirking and making noises. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Surely I have turned myself, being upright to him who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of a polytheist. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, Lord of the worlds. No associate has he, and this am I commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all my faults, for none grants protection against faults but thee. Guide me to the best of morals, for none guides to the best of them but thee, and turns away from me the evil morals but thee. Amen.
Very good. Amaria, let Daddy hear you say your prayers.
Yes, sir. Surely I turn myself, being upright to him who originates the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds, and no associate has he, and this am I commanded. O Allah, thou art the Lord, there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I thy servant. I have been unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all my faults, for none grants protection against faults but thee, and guides me to the best of morals. For none guides me to the best of morals but thee, and turns away from me the evil morals buggy.
Very good, Amaria. Diane, let me hear you say your prayer.
Yes, sir. Surely I turn myself, being upright to him, who originated in the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, and my life and my death are all for Allah, Lord of the worlds. No associate has he, and this am I commanded. I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King. There is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all my faults, for none grants protection against faults with thee, and guides me to the best of morals, for none guides to the best of them but thee, and takes away from me the evil morals but thee.
All right. Good enough.
I think I messed up
Okay.
like twice.
What you say?
I feel like I messed up a few times. I don't know.
Well, you need to recite them. You need to open a book, read them. I don't care if you got to read them 50 times. Close your eyes and recite it back until you know it like the back of your hand. That's how you study. It's hard at first, but the way you recite and study, the easiest way that I know of is that you say it out loud while you're reading it. Because if you are reading something, okay, that makes an impression upon your brain or your mind. And then when you speak it out of your mouth, that means that your eyes have to look at it. It has to go to your brain. Then your brain has to tell your mouth to open your mouth and say it. So you get a double or triple impression upon your brain. That's the easiest way to memorize something. So if you're having problems, whether it's your memory or whether you're nervous, only thing that means is that you have to study harder. Because let's say that your memory is intact. Like, if you're not in front of your dad, if you're not in front of people and you say your prayers fine, but for some reason, when you get in front of other people and you forget your prayers, that still means you don't know your prayers solid enough. So what you do, you study and recite and memorize it even harder, because nervousness is causing your brain to forget the prayer. So you want to study and you want to overcome your nervousness, meaning that you know your prayers so well, it doesn't matter that nervous activity is taking place in your mind. It still can't shake you from saying your prayers. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Do you all understand me? Do you all understand me?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nervousness, if you notice, nervousness is also something that's a symptom of when you're scared of something. A lot of times when a person becomes scared or fearful of something, nervousness appears. Nervousness can also appear outside of fear. Well, in this context, the fear may be, or the concern may be, saying your prayers in front of other people. So the way that you overcome nervousness and fear is to practice over and over and over again. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
One of the ways, have you ever heard of the boxer named Mike Tyson?
Yes, sir.
No,
Yes,
sir.
Well, even though Mike Tyson, during his time, he was a heavyweight champion, and basically he could knock anyone out, when Mike Tyson was training, Mike Tyson would get up 4 in the morning and start running and jogging 10 miles, 4 a.m. every day. Why? This is what Mike Tyson says. Most, not this part, most heavyweight champions or serious boxing contenders, they all basically get up and run. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The reason Mike Tyson said he gets up and runs 4 in the morning, he says the reason I do this is because I know that my opponent is not doing it. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, when Mike Tyson came into the ring, he came into the ring with more confidence because he wants it more. He trained harder. And in his mind, he trained harder than his opponent. Therefore, when he went to fight, he felt he deserved to win. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's it. That's how you have to be with your prayer. It don't matter that you're about to get in the ring, meaning you're about to get in front of people, you said your prayers so hard, memorized them so well, it don't matter who you're in front of or who's in front of you. You can say your prayer without mistake or flaw. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Even people that have achieved and become the greatest, they still, for example, like I told you, Mike Tyson, he got up early. He got up at a time when he knew his opponent wasn't training, even though he was the heavyweight champion of the world. And when he was talking about it, he said, the reason I get up and run at 4 a.m. because I know my opponent is not. So he was mentally conditioning himself to be successful and to cast all fear outside of himself. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I can tell, Diane, that you know your prayer. It just, or that you've been saying them. You just don't know them well enough. You should say them without flaw and without hesitation. Surely I've turned myself to thee, O Allah, striving to be totally upright to him who originated the heavens and the earth, and I'm not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for thee, Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate hast thou, this is my commandment, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there's no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I've been greatly unjust myself, and I confess my fault. So please remove from me my faults, for none removes faults of thee. And please guide me to the best of morals, for none can guide to the best of morals for thee, and turns away from me the evil morals. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's continue. A few weeks ago, when we had our Sunday school meeting, we were talking about power. And one of the definitions I believe Diane gave, he said power is the ability to control or get people to do things. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 2 weeks ago at our Sunday school meeting, I believe it was Kamal and Amaria, I think it was towards the end of the meeting. They asked me about white people. I think Kamal asked, I don't remember who asked what exactly, but the questions went something like this, what if white people believe in Allah and obey, will they be destroyed? And I think Amaria asked, well, what about black people with white skin that look white? And I answered those questions. But what I want to address is the fact, I think it was Kamal, he asked about, well, what about white people? What if white people do this and what if white people do that? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I'll say this. I believe, perhaps, when Kamal asked that question, he didn't ask it out of fear or anything else. He probably just asking it out of, justice or fairness. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But a lot of times when we, the Muslims, say the things we do about white people, often when our people ask questions like Kamal asks, they're not really asking out of a sense of fairness and justice. They're asking it out of a sense of fear or some kind of love for white people. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You will notice as you grow and as you understand that when, you get around your own people and you say something about white people, you will find often there will be some among you that will say, well, what about white people? What about them? What about this? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, understand something. When white people get together and white people are planning on what white people are going to do, believe me, white people are not concerned about what about the black people. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You are inconsequential or you are collateral. When white people are planning their future or talk about what they're going to do, they're not concerned about you. They're concerned about them first. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, that's called a differential or a difference. When white people are with white people talking about what white people are going to do, they're not concerned or thinking about you. But when you or black people get together about your plans and pointing out the issues with your enemy, the white man, what some of us do, we're concerned about, well, what about white people? Do you understand? There's a difference. You understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is because white people are in power, meaning their power is so great or so immense that they don't even have to be present physically among you for you to be expressing concern for them. That's called power. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
When you start talking about justice and what they deserve and pointing out the things they did, because the white man is in power, his authority and his influence over the entire earth causes you to be concerned about him and his well-being. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's power. The white man is in power. Okay? Now, when I say the things that I say in front of you or in front of others about black people and what we need to do, your dad is not concerned about what about white people. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because I am walking in the power of Allah. I am walking in the power of Master Farad Muhammad. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
My chief and greatest concern is black people and black people only. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's talk about that for a moment. When I say black people or the black nation, the black people or black nation includes black people, Japanese people, Chinese people, and Indians. Do you understand? Or the red man.
Yes,
You understand?
sir. Yes, sir.
The Japanese people, the Chinese people, and the Indians are all part of the black nation. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So when I say black people, I'm talking about Japanese, Chinese, and Indians also. You understand?
Yes, sir.
I am not talking about white people. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Now, so what I want you to say is the following. What I want you to say, what I want you to get into your mind is this. I am concerned about black people and black people's well-being. I am not concerned about white people and white people's well-being. Say that.
I am concerned about black people and black people's well-being. I am not concerned about white people and white people's well-being.
Thank you. What you say?
What was the last word of the prayer?
It's well-being.
Well-being?
Well-being.
Yes, sir.
Now you remember that. Now, get your Quran and turn to chapter 2, verse 30.
Oh, I can. 18. 18. I open to a random food.
What is it?
18. 18. Yeah. All right, now we're all there.
Okay. Come on, read verse 30.
And when thy Lord said to the angels, I am going to place a ruler in the earth, wilt thou place in it such as make mischief in it and shed blood, and we celebrate?
Next page. No, and thy
Thy praise and extol thy holiness. He said, surely I know what you know not.
Diane, read verse 30.
And when thy Lord said to the angels, I am going to place a ruler in the earth, they said, wilt thou place in it such a make mischief in it and shed blood, and we celebrate thy praise and extol thy holiness. He said, surely I know what you know not.
Okay. Here in chapter 2, verse 30, there's a conversation going on between the Lord and the angels. And the Lord is, letting the angels in on something. He's telling the angels that I'm about to place a ruler in the earth. Now, and the angels responded, wilt thou place in it as make mischief in it and shed blood? The question to you that I'm going to ask, and if you don't know, say you don't know. When the Lord told the angels he's going to put a ruler in the earth, why did the angels ask the Lord, what are you going to do? Put somebody there that's going to shed blood, make trouble? Do you know why the angels said that to the Lord?
Because they wanted to keep it peaceful.
What you say?
Because they wanted to keep the earth peaceful.
They want to keep what?
The angels wanted to keep the earth peaceful.
The angels wanted to keep the earth peaceful. Okay, that was the aim?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone else has an answer to the question?
I think I have one. Probably because they said that Master Muhammad gives people chances, and the angels were saying, will that person make trouble, and is Master Muhammad going to give him a chance?
Anyone else?
Wait, I wasn't. Maybe because. Sir?
Go ahead.
I was thinking maybe because since white people were allowed to rule for this long, they're asking again, are you going to make this ruler make mischief and shed blood like the white people did?
Okay. In chapter 2, verse 30, this is a conversation that was taking place before white people were made. And when the Lord said to the angels, I'm going to place a ruler in the earth, and they told him, what you're going to do, place in it someone that's going to make mischief and shed blood, as revealed to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad from Master Farad Muhammad, this is a conversation between Yaqub as a child and his uncle. But more to the point, see, when the word was spoken, to the people that, God is about to place a rule in the earth during this time was basically ruled in peace. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if the earth is being ruled in peace and basically everything seems to be fine, and here someone comes along and say, you know what, I'm going to place a rule in the earth. Well, if you already have a ruler that's ruling the earth in peace, what would be the point of replacing that? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So naturally, if everything is basically going fine, it's the old saying, if something's not broke, why fix it, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, so this word came down. I'm going to place a ruler in the earth. Well, the wise said, well, wait a minute. Everything is basically peaceful and fine. What you going to do? Place somebody in it that's going to shed blood? Now, why did they say shed blood?
War.
Right. So no, that was really a rhetorical question. I'm about to answer it.
No.
Okay. Now, this is about a little over 6,000 years ago. This was being spoken. Okay. Now, prior to this time, prior before white people ever seen the light of the sun, we had different people on the earth doing what they wanted to do. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, you all heard of the Native Americans, the Indians in America. They're called Native Americans. You understand? The Cherokee, the Navajo, the Hopi. You heard of them?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The Native American people that was in this continent, they were sent over here from the east because they broke a law of Islam 15,000 years ago. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this part of the earth where we are right now, called North America, was a place of exile. So that if you were a person, that disobeyed Allah, that would not follow the rules of Islam, this place over here was basically a prison of sorts. Meaning you were sent over here since you were breaking the peace and didn't want to serve Allah. They sent you to this part of the earth called North America. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Allah didn't kill the Native Americans for not submitting to Islam. He just sent them away. He just sent them to another part of the earth. Just stay over there and, basically get out of my face. And y'all do what y'all want to do over there. Do you understand? He didn't kill them. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And Allah allowed these people to not serve him and do what they want to do for 15,000 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, the punishment or reward for disobeying Allah continually is death. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But Allah is not only just, he's merciful. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So basically, Allah sent the Native Americans from the east over here to what we call America, and, basically for 15,000 years, let them live so maybe they'll repent and decide to return and serve in Islam. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But the Native American didn't do that. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, let's go back to the east. There's some other Indians called Hindus that live primarily on a place on our earth called India. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Hindus and their religion, Hinduism, has been on the earth for over 35,000 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
These Indians have been disobeying Allah for 35,000 years. Now, again, the punishment for disobeying God and living in sin and transgression is death. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But guess what? Allah didn't kill them. He suffered them to be there worshiping Shiva and all these other gods, but he didn't kill them. So for 35,000 years, they've been, receiving revelation and warnings, but they have not yet repented. So they've been worshiping whatever God they want and doing whatever they want on a live earth for 35,000 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, get your Bible and turn to the book. It's in the New Testament towards the end of the Bible. It's called 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 9. That's after the Gospels. It's in front of the book of Revelation. This is one of the books in front of the book of Revelation, and it's called 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 9.
Some Revelation, I thought it was 2 Peter. Well, where's 2 Peter? Well, you said it's in front of Revelation.
If it's quicker, whoever finds 2 Peter chapter 2, the book of 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 9, open it and y'all all just converge around that one book so we can move quickly through our lesson. When you find it, let me know.
Okay, you found it? Son, I don't see it. Oh, where's the chapter on this thing?
Chapter 3. There's 1 Peter, the first epistle of Peter, and the second epistle of Peter. I want you to go to the second epistle or 2 Peter chapter 3.
Oh, here. Verse 9?
You found it?
Yes, sir.
Well, I think read 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. Read it.
Yes, sir. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is longsuffering to us ward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance.
Right. Okay. So in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9, it says that the Lord is not slack in his promise, as some men count slackness. The word slack here means firmness. If you're slack, you're kind of, unfirm, maybe lazy. You might not do something. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's like this. It's like your mom, right? If your mom tells you, let's see, Daeen, take a bath every day. And let's say Daeen does not take a bath every day like his mama tells him. He takes a bath 3 out of 4 days a week, okay? And your mom said, look, Daeen, if you don't take a bath, I'm going to tell your daddy, and if I tell your daddy, you're going to get a whooping. So take a bath every day. And let's say after your mom tells Daeen a second time to take a bath every day, he still does not do it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
One can look at your mom and say, oh, she's just slack. She really don't mean what she say. But what's really going on, your mother is just being merciful. She's trying to be nice. She's trying to encourage you. She don't want you to get a whooping. She's not slack. She's just trying to give you a little extra time to get it together. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
She don't want to call your dad to come down there because she knows what's going to happen. Like, man, if I have to call your dad to make you do something that I told you to do, if I got to make your dad come to Louisiana, you're going to get it. He ain't coming to talk to you. He's going to put it on you. If I got to call your dad and make him come to Louisiana to get you straight. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So here in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9, it said, the Lord is not slacking his promise. The Bible says the wages of sin is death. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Meaning the payment or the reward for living the sinful life, you're going to die. That's the law. That's a promise. That's not a threat. If God tells you to do something and you don't do it, it's not a threat. It's called. You hear that in this world. Somebody say, if you don't do this, I'm gonna beat you up. And somebody might say, you threatening me? So no, partner, that's not a threat. That's not a threat. That's a promise. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The word of God is a promise. There ain't no threat. This is what's going to happen if you don't obey me. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, in chapter 3, verse 9, we learned that the Lord, he's not slack, but he's long-suffering, that you should repent. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Long-suffering means patient, merciful. So, let's get back to the Native American and those Hindus in the East, those other Indians. For 35,000 years in the East and for 15,000 years in the West, Allah has been telling these people to serve me and obey. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you think 15,000 years or 35,000 years is what you would call a long-suffering time to be putting up with somebody?
Yes, sir.
Would you say that's
Yes,
long?
sir.
We know the Bible didn't lie. We know the Bible ain't lying when it said the Lord is long-suffering, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's move on with our lesson. All right. Let's come back to today for a moment. Have any of you ever seen a spider?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you have. Now, have you ever seen a spider's web?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the function of a spider's web?
To trap an enemy so the spider can eat.
Right. The purpose of a web is to trap an enemy so the spider can eat and survive. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, you may or may not be able. You may have visited someone's home, or it may have happened in your own home. But I'm going to move kind of quickly here. Oftentimes, children, when a person has a house, generally they have a upstairs and a basement, or and an attic. There are different floors to many people's homes. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times what homeowners will do, if they see insects in their home, they'll call a exterminator and spray the house. If they see ants or roaches, or any other any other animals or creatures in their home that shouldn't be there. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, to move forward in our lesson, I'll talk about me for a second here. When I was growing up, when I stayed with my grandmother and later with my own mom in our own house, a lot of times I would go in the basement and I would see in the corner, off in the corner, maybe in the ceiling, I would see a spider in a spider's web inside the house. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, I know that my mother or my grandmother or just about anybody don't want insects in their home. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But often, when you go in people's home, one insect that you might see that they are not so quick to kill is the spider. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The reason why people may not call it exterminator because they see one spider or a couple spider webs in their basement is because of what the spider does. The spider has a web, and any insect that crawls in that web gets trapped, and the spider kills it and eats it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But according to the law, a spider is an insect as well, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, if it is the law of your home to kill all insects, why is it generally the spider is allowed to live and other insects die? The reason is the spider gets rid of the insects that you don't want it in your house. It serves a function. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
The reason why the spider, who is an insect, oftentimes is allowed to live in your home while other insects are killed more quickly is because the spider kills the other insects that shouldn't be there anyway. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the reason why the spider is often allowed to live, even though he don't belong there, is because he is justified to live there. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do any one of you have a dollar bill, George Washington, on? Anybody in the room got a dollar bill on them?
No, sir. Not on me.
I had one, but then I couldn't find it. No, I couldn't find it. I lost it.
Is your mom home?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, nobody has a dollar bill.
Well, I'm sure I can go get one.
Go get one.
Yes, sir.
Dad,
Yes. Yes.
is Mike Tyson the boxer? Is he still alive?
Yes, ma'am. He's a boxer and he is alive.
Oh, yes, sir.
Never mind, Dad. I couldn't find one.
Okay. All right. Well, it don't matter. Hold on. Now, if you had a dollar bill in front of you, or the next time you get one, which president do you see on the front of the dollar bill?
George Washington.
George Washington.
It's a picture. It's a picture of George Washington, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, where is that picture located on a dollar?
On the front.
On the front.
In the middle, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next time you get a dollar bill and you look at it, you're going to see George Washington. The point is not, I'm not talking about George Washington. The point I'm making is this. The next time you get a dollar bill, when you look at it again, what you're going to see surrounding the president is a spider's web. And in the middle of the spider's web, you're going to see George Washington. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
it's
sir.
It's symbolic of a spider. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next time you get a
Oh,
dollar
Dad.
bill, yes.
I pulled up a picture of the dollar bill. I see the spider web.
Okay, do you see the spider web surrounding George Washington?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's on the outside.
I don't see it.
It's on the outside. You don't see it?
No.
You see
Get back
the
on
spider
the
web?
picture. No, look. No, look on the back of it. You keep finding those pictures that's on the back of the dollar bill. No, hey, look at the picture. You see spider webs all around the outside.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Okay. Now, when you walk outside or whenever you see a spider with web, who is at the center of the spider's web?
George
Who
Washington.
lives at the center of a spider's web?
Above. The spider. The spider.
The spider, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Are you there?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, who do we the Muslims call the white man?
Oh, who?
Say what?
Oh, who?
Excuse me?
Who do we call who?
The white man.
Devil.
Correct. The white man is the devil. Now, one of the names of the devil is Beelzebub. Say Beelzebub.
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 Now, does anybody know what the word Beelzebub means?
No,
No, it's not even.
The word Beelzebub means Lord of the Flies. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
What does it mean?
The word Beelzebub, which is another word for the devil, means Lord of the Flies. Do you understand?
Lord of the Flies?
Lord of the Flies. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, does anybody know basically what is the main source of food for a spider's web?
Insects?
Insects. Generally you see the most common thing, at least my experience looking at them, the main insect that I see and that gets caught in the spider's web is a fly. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, I've rarely seen a honeybee or a wasp or any of those flying or a dragonfly. I've actually never seen any of those creatures in a spider's web. The main creatures that I've seen in the spider's web, besides a butterfly maybe, is like a housefly. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Now, the word Lord itself means master. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, when we call someone master, the word Lord or the word master means someone that's in authority or has authority over someone else or something else. So a person that's in authority over someone or something else is called Lord or master. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So one of the names of the devil is Beelzebub. The word Beelzebub means Lord of the Flies. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
When a housefly flies into the web of a spider, it gets trapped. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And when that happens, the spider that's in the center of that web now has authority over that fly. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
the spider becomes the Lord over that fly, meaning the spider got power over the life and death of that fly. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you read in the scripture in the Bible and you hear the word Beelzebub, and the Greek definition of Beelzebub is Lord of the Flies, what is taking place is this: the scriptures is giving you a metaphoric description of the devil. He's like a spider. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you look at that dollar bill and you see that devil, George Washington, in the center of the spider's web, he's telling on himself. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What do I mean telling on himself? Well, it's his nature talking. I'm not saying that George Washington knew that he was a devil or regarded himself as a devil, because that wasn't revealed until the arrival of Master Farad Muhammad in 1930. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But what's going on is that's his nature speaking, or that's just within. They really didn't know per se why they did certain things, but they just did certain things in a certain way, and they didn't even understand why. But the overall point is this: Beelzebub, the devil, is compared scripturally to a spider. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's round it up a little bit here. Remember, I told you that the typical rule in anyone's household is that they don't want any insects in their house, right?
Yes, sir.
And I also told you that typically or often when you go in a person's basement or you go in a person's attic, you will see a spider's web. You understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about the spider and his web in your house. And think about this. Now, if you have roaches in your home, or you have, mice in your home, or something else that don't belong in your home, do they just typically roam out in the open, or when they see you, do they run and hide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What does a roach do if you walk in and cut the light on and it's out in the middle of the floor? What does it do?
It runs. It runs away.
It runs and hides, don't it?
Yes, sir.
But let's talk about this spider. If let's say you have someone's home, and you go up in their attic or you go in their basement, and right out in front of God and everybody, there's a big old spider web and a spider in the middle of it, and you cut the light on. Does the spider run anywhere?
No, sir.
He stays right there, don't he?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, think about this. The rule or the law is that insects don't belong in houses and they are to be killed. Yet, when you see a spider, he don't run and hide. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
In other words, he's really not scared, is he?
No, sir.
Okay. That tells you something about the devil. Just, when the white man, children, let me explain something to you. How can I put this? The white man is not a coward. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
He's a ruler. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And he basically walks around with no fear, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's a king. He's a ruler. He don't run. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why is this? In order for him to be that way, that means he knows something. Is that right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now, the universe, our universe, is ruled under freedom, justice, and equality. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's the law of the entire universe. You understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us this. He said white people know God. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, but the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the white people can't represent God. Because if they represent the true God, they will give away the power to rule. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But I don't want to go too deep into that. The point I'm making is this. In order for the white man to be as bold as he is and rule the planet as he does, he knows who the true God is and what the true religion is. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's the only way that you can rule. If you don't understand the laws, you can't rule. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Let me give you an example. Even if I bought Daim a car tomorrow, Daim at this point basically, or we can say Rafiq or any of you, or we can say Amaria. If I buy Amaria a car, just because she have a car, she doesn't know the rules of the road. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So if I bought Amaria a car and put her in a car and gave her the key and she started driving, she's going to crash. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because she don't know the rules, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with planet Earth. You cannot rule planet Earth and be a ruler on this planet if you are not aware or don't know the divine laws of God. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's an example of that? Rafiq or Daim, have you ever heard of a ruler called Genghis Khan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's talk about Genghis Khan briefly for a moment. Genghis Khan was a Mongol from the area north of China. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Genghis Khan was I'll say it historically how he's portrayed. Genghis Khan was a tyrannical conqueror. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He was not a white man. He was Asian. He was a Mongol. Do you understand? From Mongolia.
Yes, sir.
You there?
Yes, sir.
Now, he was a king, and Genghis Khan was also a red man. And one of the books that was brought to him was the Holy Quran. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Genghis Khan read the Holy Quran. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, there's a famous quote attributed to Genghis Khan when he conquered people. And this is the quote. Genghis Khan said this. He said, "I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you." Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So, why am I telling you this? Well, Genghis Khan was a ruler, a king in Mongolia who conquered other nations around him. And he had a manifest destiny of sorts. He knew the law. He knew that he had authority to kill and pillage and conquer people that was not obeying God. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So he conquered and ruled under what we would call divine authority. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Let's get back. So, if you are ruling according to divine authority, if your authority is derived from divine, that necessarily means you have to be ruling with respect to justice. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, let's talk again about this white man. See, Genghis Khan articulated basically what white people have been doing for the last 6,000 years. They have been able to do the things that they have been doing basically because the vast majority of people on this earth was not obeying and submitting to the laws of God. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And according to what we just discussed today, we have people on this planet that's been disobeying God and doing what they want to do for 35,000 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go to the Holy Quran and turn to chapter 15 and verse 35.
Chapter 15.
Chapter 15, verse 35.
$3.28.
I got it.
Where's my highlighter?
No problem. Okay, Amaria, I want you to read verse 35, 36, 37, and 38. And I want Kamal to read verse 39, 40, 41, 42, and 43. So Amaria, read verse 35 through 38.
And surely on thee is a curse till the day of judgment. He said, My Lord, respite me till the time when they are raised. He said, Surely thou art of the respited ones, till the period of time made known.
He said, My Lord, as thou hast judged me, hearing, I shall certainly make evil first beginning to them on earth, and I shall cause them all to deviate, except thy servant from among them and the purified ones. He said, This is a right way with me. As regards my servants, thou hast no authority over them except such as the deviators that follow thee. And surely hell is promised place for them all. It has 7 gates.
Okay, go ahead and read it. It has 7 gates.
Has 7 gates, for each gate is an appointed portion of them.
Okay, real quick, the 7 gates of hell is the 7 continents of earth, but that's not my subject. Now, in chapter 15, Kamal and Maria read a conversation between Allah and the devil. And the devil told God, or told Allah, he said, respite me to the day that they are raised. And he also told God that he's going to cause everybody to deviate or disobey him or continue to disobey him. And God told him, this is the right way with me. He said, yeah, I want you to do that. And he said, you don't have no authority over them except only people that he has authority over are the people that disobey the law. But the people that obey the law, he does not have authority over. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Now, the Holy Quran says that God said, this is the right way with me. When we read this chapter in the Quran, here we're reading that the devil telling God what he's going to do. He said, basically, I'm going to, mislead and cause all these people to go to hell. And God told him, that's right. That's the right thing to do. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's strange. Why would God say that's the right thing to do? I thought God wanted to save everybody. Why is God in the Holy Quran said it's the right thing for you to do to take these people to hell? Why did God say that? Get your Bible and turn to the book of Hebrews. Should be near 2 Peter.
Oh, 1657.
What?
He did say.
Chapter 9, verse 22.
1652. Mario, we're in the Bible. All right, Dad, we're there.
Read verse 22, Ruffy.
And almost all things are by law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission.
Okay. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, verse 22, it says, and almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without the shedding of blood is no remission. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Remission. What does the word remission mean? Remission, let's give an example of this. If someone you know has cancer, right, and the doctor says that the cancer has went into remission. If you have cancer and it goes into remission means that the symptoms or the harmful effects of the cancer is no longer harming you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
It does not mean you are cured of cancer. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, verse 22, it says, without the shedding of blood, there is no remission. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, when we are in the book of when we are in the Holy Quran, when we go to verse 36, the devil asks Allah to respite me to the time when they are raised. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Respite means a temporary stay of execution, a delay. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Or respite is a form of remission. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in the Holy Quran, Allah granted the devil respite or remission. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Listen to me carefully. Remember, in the Holy Quran, when the devil told God that I'm going to mislead everybody that's disobeying you and take them to hell, remember, Allah said that's the right way with me. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And he granted the devil or gave Satan respite or remission. Is that right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
But according to the law, in the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, verse 22, it says that without the shedding of blood, there is no remission. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So, when we read the Holy Quran, if the devil is to have remission, or if the devil is to have a stay of execution, he must, according to the law, shed blood. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now, let me stick with the subject. I'm going to give you an example of this. Real quick. You're too young to remember, either I'm too young to remember, but there was a black boy from Chicago named Emmett Till. And he went to Mississippi. And he made the mistake of whistling at a white woman. Do you understand?
Yes.
Oh, yes, sir. I heard of that.
Okay, listen carefully. I'm not going to go into what they did to him, but he was brutalized and murdered and thrown in the river. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
The white men that killed that black child were let free. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And if you look at the documentary of Emmett Till on the internet, if you look at it, when they were in court, the people of Money, Mississippi, the white people treated those white men that killed Emmett Till, they called those men heroes. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now, when black people hear that some grown men or grown white men that killed a black child, they hear about some other white people calling them white men heroes, the emotional response that most black people would have is, those people are evil and something wrong with them. That's the emotional response. But when you look at it soberly and with a spiritual eye, you can understand why white people regarded those white men that killed that black boy as heroes, because that justifies white people being on earth. Because without the shedding of blood, there is no remission. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Remember, I told you that for 15,000 years, the Native Americans were disobeying Allah. You understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I told you for 35,000 years, 35,000 years, the Hindus in India have been disobeying Allah. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So Allah has been suffering and waiting and being merciful for 35,000 years with people that decided they're not going to obey Him. You understand me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we know that the rule is, according to the Bible, the wages of sin is death. Is that right? That's the rule, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yet God did not annihilate the Native Americans. God did not annihilate the Indians in India that practice Hinduism. You understand? He didn't kill them all. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One moment. So, remember when we read in Holy Quran chapter 2 that the Lord said, I'm going to place a ruler in the earth? Remember that?
Yes, sir.
And remember the angels asked the Lord, what are you going to do? Place somebody in it to make mischief and shed blood? Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Now we know why the angels asked Allah why He was going to do that. The reason why the angels asked the Lord, what are you going to do? Place somebody in it to shed blood? Because if you're going to place another ruler in the earth, Allah, if you're going to do that, we already basically have peace. So if you are going to place another ruler in the earth, the only thing that's left to do is to kill those people that's disobeying you, that you have been having mercy on. You're going to allow the destruction and murder and killing of the Native Americans. You're going to finally cast judgment on the Hindus that's been disobeying for 35,000 years. You understand?
Yes, sir.
That's the only thing that can justify. That's the only thing another ruler come to the earth would be justified to do. Is what the law has been. What you would say. The only thing another ruler is left to do is to execute the law that has been delayed by God. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what happened? The Native American over here had 15,000 years to get it straight. He didn't. And what happened? So what happened was the Native American in this country, America, has all been but annihilated. Genocide. He's basically destroyed. You probably rarely see a Native American walking around where you live unless you go to Oklahoma somewhere. Basically, the Native American in this country has been annihilated. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what's my concluding point to conclude this Sunday school lecture? Because this is not a what you would call a full-blown lecture here. The point is this, children. The reason why the white man is allowed to do the thing he does and to be in power and authority and control the way he is because he is justified to be here. Because his existence is justified because the people that he murders and kills are those that disobey God. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
He has authority to kill and destroy the people that disobey God. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's That's why he's in power. That's why he's allowed to do the things he does, because he is justified. So we're going to conclude this Sunday school lecture, but I'm going to conclude it with a question. If all the insects in your home are no longer there are no flies, there are no roaches, there are no caterpillars, there are no whatever in your home. If you do not have any more insects in your house, is the spider that's in your house justified to be there?
No, sir.
All right. Okay, we will pick up where we left off right here next week concerning the shedding of blood and the remission of sins. Are there any questions?
No,
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
What's your question, Amaria?
Is it true that the devil was one of God's angels?
I wouldn't say was one of God's angels. I would say is one of God's angels. The word angel means messenger. One of the names of the devil is Lucifer. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The name Lucifer means light bearer. Do you understand?
Mhm.
Okay, but let me get back to the question. The devil is an angel in a sense of God. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Meaning that if you see the devil and the devil is in front of you to kill you, that is a message from God. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The word angel is Greek for messenger, right? Like the postman or post lady that bring you your mail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So if you are ever in a situation where you're about to be murdered by the white man, by the devil, you are receiving a message from God. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
What do I mean by that? I'll take you back to Genghis Khan. One thing that Genghis Khan said, I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when I say that the devil is an angel of God, what I'm really saying is God allows or uses Satan to kill his enemies. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I mean, but God don't love the devil. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, sir.
What do I mean by that? If you go in your basement or if you go in your attic and you see a spider, right, and a spider is catching flies and eating insects that you don't want in your home, you allow the spider to live and do that. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But you don't love the spider, do you?
No, sir.
You know, so basically what you say, okay, you know, I got these insects that keep coming in my house that I don't want, and I'm going to let the spider live till I get all these insects. Then I'm going to kill the spider. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you read, real quick, sweetheart, if you read the book, you'll read, I'll take you through this later on, that this world is a trap for the unrighteous. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what's going to happen is this. This is why the white man is allowed to be in power and do the things he does, is because he's carrying out the judgment of God. The wages of sin is death. People that disobey God and willingly and continually live in sin and disobey God, their reward for living an unrighteous and sinful life is death. Satan is here killing a lot of unrighteous people. Okay. Once that has been done, and basically the unrighteous are killed, or the unrighteous are trapped in his world, and he has all that he can have, then God is going to kill the devil and the unrighteous. You understand?
Yes, sir.
If you go to the book of Revelation, it tells you that the beast the false prophet, the devil, and everybody that received the mark of the devil or the mark of the beast was cast into a lake of fire. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically, in a word, uh, to answer your question in the same light of this lecture, Satan or the devil is an angel of God. He is an angel that God's allowing to kill and destroy the unrighteous, and then God going to kill that angel. The devil is an angel that God does not love. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What is it?
How did the devil become the devil?
How did the devil become the devil?
Yes, sir.
The devil or the white man, when the universe was created, when the black man made himself, he created himself from nothing. We say that's God or Allah. Allah created himself, created the universe, reproduced himself, us, his children, and it's been going on for 76 trillion years. But the situation was this. When the black man created himself, within the black man, unseen, was a defect, meaning a defective gene, a defective germ inside of us. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Basically, this defect or this defective gene continue inside of the black man for trillions of years undetected. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And for 76 trillion years, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And for 76 trillion years, the earth that the black man is on has not truly been ruled in a total and utter state of peace. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Civilizations of the black man has risen and fallen for trillions and trillions of years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Just like one of the ancient civilization you may have heard of is Egypt. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Egypt is not. Only thing we know about Egypt today is we see a bunch of artifacts and monuments and museums of what Egypt was. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what am I saying? If the civilizations that man produces is imperfect and cannot continue, like for instance, the civilization of Egypt, I believe, from my research, only continued roughly 50,000 years. But the point is this. If the civilization that you produce is imperfect, that necessarily means that there is an imperfection inside of you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
For 76 trillion years, the black man's been asking the question, why is it that we can't have total peace? You understand?
Yes, sir.
That question has been answered upon the birth of Yaqub. Yaqub found the reason why we could not all get, as Rodney King said, why can't we all just get along? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's because there is a gene inside the black man that's been locked up trying to get out that has manifested itself through the work of Yaqub that we call Caucasian or white man. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That germ has been in us for trillions and trillions of years, and being in us and having its nature, we have been unable to obtain total peace in the universe. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
Yaqub brought the defect out of the black man and gave it a form that we call white man or Caucasian. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And when you look at white people and you look at the world that they create and the things that go on, when you look at this world that you're in, you can easily see why the black man has never had a civilization or a world that has been able to continue forever. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's because the black man had the gene of the devil in him. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So the God Yakub brought that gene out and allowed the black nation to observe what was inside of us and what was preventing us from having peace. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now that we have seen what was in us, now we're going to destroy it so we can have peace. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Understand something. Not only is the white man that you see walking around on two legs on this earth, in America and everywhere else, going to be destroyed, the very gene that gave him life in the first place, that's inside of you and me, is going to be taken out of you and me. The germ, his genetic code that's inside of you right now, that is going to be removed from you and destroyed. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And when that happens, you will be unable to have an evil or unrighteous thought. We are going to become perfected. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So, in a word, the white man is like a genie in a bottle that was finally let out, and you're the bottle. Okay. So he is what we call the son of perdition, or the man of sin. Perdition means damnation without the hope of salvation. Okay? So he is a man that is damned from the beginning. We didn't destroy the gene in the beginning. We brought the gene out and gave it a form, gave him life so we can look at this gene and then destroy it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So any other black leader like Louis Farrakhan or anybody else, Martin Muhammad, if you hear any other black Muslims talking about salvation for the white man, you are looking at a black man that's deceived. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you hear another Muslim that's preaching salvation for the Caucasian, you are looking at a Muslim that's been deceived by the devil. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The white man is the manifestation of the defect that's within you. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
It's no different. It's no different than when you're cooking or you're fixing a car. You know, if you're cleaning chicken, so to speak. If you cut off the head of a chicken and cook it and gut it, you take out the fat, you take out the gizzards because you're trying to have a good meal, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're not interested in saving the gut, the fat, and other parts you're not going to eat. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, he is not something to be saved. He is something that was brought out of us that we didn't get rid of or destroy in the very beginning of time. And since we're going to destroy this gene or destroy this genetic code, we had to bring it out so you can look at it to show you why we're going to destroy this. This is what was in you. The white man is an answer to a question that's 76 trillion years old. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You will never wonder why the black man never had peace, because now you know, because you live in a world of inequality, a world that denies freedom, and a world of injustice. You live in that world right now. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
What's your question?
Okay, so what if this white person, he hates the color of his skin and he wishes to be black?
What was the question, Rafi?
What if a white person hated the color of their skin and wanted to be black?
Well, if a white person hated the color of their skin and wanted to be black, that actually was something that happened when they got here. After the white man was made and after the white man was exiled to Europe, they wanted to become black people again. And so what happened was they tried to graft themselves back into being black people. And according to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Farad Muhammad, what ended up happening is when they tried to graft themselves or make themselves black again, a portion of them became, this is where we get gorillas and monkeys from. So the creatures that we call monkey or the creatures that we call gorilla, those creatures came about from the desire and efforts of some white people to become black again. You understand?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of the movie King Kong?
No, sir.
You've never heard of King Kong?
You never heard of it.
Oh, he's talking to King Squirrel.
King Squirrel.
Well, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Long story short, I don't know if you're ever going to be able to observe it, but according to what I've been taught, I believe Minister John Muhammad, the Messenger's brothers, talked about this. If a white woman, for instance, goes to the zoo and gets too close to like a monkey or a gorilla, what we were told or taught is that the monkey or the gorilla, it knows where it comes from. By nature, it knows what it is. And when a monkey or gorilla sees a white woman, that monkey or gorilla becomes jealous because of the form of the white woman. Because to the gorilla, the white woman, or to the gorilla or the monkey, the white woman is pretty and beautiful. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And the monkey is not. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And what happens is, if she gets too close to that cage, that gorilla or monkey will scratch the white woman out of jealousy and envy because of what it is. You understand?
Yes, sir.
You know. So the gorilla or the monkey, they are descendants of white people. And white people have a saying amongst themselves. They say, well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Well, there's some truth to that. And to go further into it, I'm not going to get too deep into this because I really don't know that much more about it. But the monkey and the gorilla and those class of animals came about through the union between white women and dogs in the caves. You understand?
Yes, sir.
But I want to go into that. But from my research and further study of the monkeys and that kind of thing, they came about through the union between the white man in his caveman days and dogs, meaning that white women used to have relations with dogs, and the result of that were monkeys. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And even to this very day, there are some white people that are born in hospitals, even today, that have their tails removed. White people, some of them are still born with tails today. Do you understand?
Yes,
Do you understand? Now, at the base of a spine of a white person, hopefully you won't be in the situation to see it, but at the base of a spine of some white people, there's a stitch line where the tail was removed when they were babies. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Actually, there's a movie. I think it's called "What About Hal?" There's a movie, and white people are joking about it. I forget I'll have to find it for you. But there was a comedic show called Seinfeld, and one of the main actors from Seinfeld was in a major motion picture, and it was a joke. He pulled down, he pulled down his pants and show his stitch mark, and he was able to move his bottom tailbone as if he had a tail. The point I'm making is is that the genetic code, the canine code of dogs are in white people. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Can you say this more?
Yes, sir.
Actually, white people, they share the gene. They just don't love dogs. They actually share the gene of the dog. It's the gene of the dog is inside of white people. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you ever, hopefully this will never happen, but if you ever get around a bunch of white people, especially at the beach, there's a certain odor that they have. You know, it's a strange odor. I mean, I can't explain it, but if you ever get around them in a shower or a whole bunch of white folks together at a beach area and you walk among them, you can smell there's a strange aroma around them. But that's really, we're kind of getting off into other stuff right now. This is not really the purpose of Sunday school, but to answer your question, you know, or I don't know how we even got this far over, but their genetic code, the mixing in with the dog and monkey, that came about from their desire to graft themselves back into the black nation. Do you understand? So to answer your question, they are the white people that wanted that. When they tried to engineer and become that, they became apes. That's actually in the Holy Quran. And they talked about they were cursed to be apes and swine. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, any other questions?
No, sir.
All right. If there are no more questions, we'll pick up on our subject concerning the shedding of blood and remission next week. All right.
Yes, sir.
And if that's it, we'll bring this meeting to a close. In the name of Master Muhammad, who is alive, who is in the person and is present in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.